and I'll be back with my commentary.
Remember the shocking video of two teens duking it out with a pair of Detroit cops? Tonight, a huge development in the case. It's footage you saw only right here on The Edge. Two brothers facing prison time for a fight they say was started by those officers. But tonight, the brothers are getting a big break from the prosecutor. Here's Fox 2's Andre Isom with an update.
Remember this video of the fast food fisticuffs? It all went down in the month of May at this East Side eatery. Once we aired it on The Edge, this brawl became big news. Many people could not believe what they saw or heard either. On one side, two of DPD's boys in blue, and their opponents, two college-educated brothers who just stopped by to grab a midnight snack for their mother, when all of a sudden, the cops came in.
I thought they initially came in and profiled us.
They asked the guys for ID, and both young men vigorously questioned the officers' actions. Then, there was this. After an investigation, the Detroit Police Department deemed this use of force appropriate and reasonable. So, law enforcement was off the hook. However, some serious charges were levied against the lads. Felonies.
Assault and battery on a police officer, resisted arrest, and obstruction of justice. I was very scared and nervous. I didn't know what was going to happen. I could have just walked away from the situation. I wouldn't have been going through any of this.
But 1 week and 2 days after this story ran on Fox 2, new information came down from the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. The charges have been dropped against 26-year-old Nabon Moore and his brother, 20-year-old Taiwan Mitchell.
I was about to cry. I got a little bit emotional because this is my life.
I'm very elated, but I'm concerned about other young people out in the community who face these things every day, who are not as maybe articulate as Taiwan, who do not have the kind of legal support that he has. I'm concerned about them, and those are the people that we're going to continue to fight for.
Justice is going to get served, whether it's on the people or it's on the police, and I think justice was served today.
For Taiwan, this nightmare may be over, but he is glad it is something he'll never forget. Taiwan is approaching his junior year at Madonna University. His major, criminal justice.
I want to work with the federal government, and if I can't work with the federal government, I want to work with the youth in the city of Detroit, so I can help them out. Now, with situations like this is another thing that I want to help them out with. I want to help them to get into school and better themselves.
And already, he has learned some valuable lessons he will surely share with them all.
Just walk away. Know the value of myself. Just walk away from it. It's not worth it. Going to jail, messing up my career. I have a lot going for myself, and I want to continue to move forward in my future.
We asked what he would say to the two officers if ever given the chance.
I wouldn't say anything to them. I forgive them. I don't hold any grudges for them. I just hope that they learn their lesson and just go on with their jobs, do their jobs the correct way.
This case sets a precedent. It sets a precedent for two young men who are like the brightest and the best that Detroit has to offer. And if they can be encroached upon, anybody can.
Taiwan was able to break the news to his brother, who's in law school in Texas right now, that the charges have been dropped. Both men think that video should be an example to police and the public of what not to do, though they are not saying that you should not defend yourself if put in a particular situation. But knowing when to walk away is also a true sign of a man. I'm Andrea Ice.
Watch brothers who were arrested for fighting back against violent cops beat charges, win settlement. Matt Agaris, The Free Thought Project. April 29, 2016. Southfield MI. Two men went from being arrested and facing felony charges to being released, cleared of all charges, and now, given a six-figure settlement after getting into a restaurant brawl with two belligerent Detroit cops. T1 Mitchell, 20, and Nabon Moore, 26, were driving to Grandy's Coney Island back in May of 2013 when they were followed into the parking lot by two Detroit cops. Having done nothing illegal and knowing their rights, the two men thought little of the police car and walked inside to get their food. At the time, Mitchell was about to be a junior at Madonna University, studying criminal justice. Mitchell's brother Moore is also college educated, and both of them were entirely informed on their rights. After they had entered the store, 2 bully Detroit police officers followed them in. That's when the harassment began. The officers demanded that the 2 men produce their IDs. However, these 2 gentlemen weren't the pushovers that the officers took them for. Mitchell and Moore knew that they were being shaken down for no reason and that these 2 officers were trying to unlawfully detain them. When the men refused to be harassed and refused to show their papers, one officer became violent. The officer, as if he was intentionally trying to start a fight, pushed one of the brothers in the chest. That's when Moore merely pushed the officer's hands away. He and his brother were then met with a cop's fist to the face. A full-on brawl ensued. The 2 brothers eventually stopped the fight and were booked and charged with felony assault on an officer. The Detroit Police Department also cleared both officers in this case, stating that the use of force was appropriate and reasonable. However, in a completely atypical move by the prosecutor's office, after reviewing the footage, all of the charges were dropped. Wayne County Prosecutor's Office disagreed with Detroit police and said that the detainment was unreasonable and that the 2 men were acting in self-defense. When police are threatened, they react with violence, and the situation can get out of hand quickly. Had these circumstances been slightly different, these 2 brothers could have been killed. Both of these Detroit police officers are still on duty today. The settlement was just paid by the city of Detroit, or more accurately the taxpayers. It is an unfortunate circumstance that taxpayers continue to pay for stupid mistakes, said Herbert Sanders, an attorney for the men. Watch the video below.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I'd like to thank you for all your years of support through the years. As a result, this channel has grown and allowed me an equity partnership in carmarshal.com. Please take the time to check them out. They help you buy and sell your next car, even have a negotiating tool to save you from the hassle of haggling with multiple dealers. The link is in the description below. Please click and help support and give if you can too through PayPal or Patreon. Thanks again.